Podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
What broke him down? Was it just a body punch? I was hitting him with body punch and I heard him actually he was crying in there. You were saying that Gibbs was crying when you hit him? Yes. When did that happen? And perhaps the fourth round on. ThaBoxingVoice.com. So that you knew you had him by that time. Absolutely, but I knew he was tough and taking those punches.
Productions.
Making women gestures like, oh.
Let's go, champ.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of the Boxing Voice Radio. I am your host, Nestor Gibbs. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at NestGTO. We are back to discuss a weekend filled to boxing. We got plenty of topics to talk about. Adrien Broner, Jessie Vargas, main event, action-packed fight. Jermall Charlo showing that he is a force to be reckoned with at 160. Gervonta Davis becoming champion again. And the big news, Joshua Wilder, Eddie Hearn to sit down with Haymon. Finally, tomorrow is the alleged meeting between Eddie Hearn and Haymon, which that would be impressive if they could get that together. And we could get some details. That would be great. But we have obviously plenty of other things to talk about. And you know the number to call in, 1-425-569-5241. Press 1. One time to voice your opinion here on the Voice of the People hotline. I'm going to head on out to my co-host in the New Jersey, in the Golden State. Garden State.
I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one to stop me. Lynch the conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody like me. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dippy. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. Get up!
Yeah, Doomsday in the building. Shout out to Maddie in the Golden State. We over here in the Garden State, and what can I say? This, these fights was pretty good. What I mean by pretty good was just in the fashion the fights were won. I guess even though Jessie Vargas and Adrien Broner was a decision, it was still a half and half good fight to watch. Yeah, man, can't wait to get into it. See what the TBV fans' opinion on the wins. And don't forget Carl Frampton too. Carl Frampton fought Nonito Donaire. Let's see what people got to say about Nonito performance.
Well, I mean, let's jump into it. I guess we start with the first topic. Adrien Broner, Jessie Vargas battled to a draw. It's funny because me and Matt did the live fight chat for this one, and I kept saying that it was a little bit tight, and Adrien wasn't doing enough, in my opinion. He did come on, but it was basically the same old Adrien.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I know in the beginning half of the fight, he had all of us just back to just like sighing. Please don't just stand there and don't let off. I mean, even Kevin Cunningham throughout the night in the corner, you could hear him, let your hands go, let your hands go. Because, I'm the guy that was really believing in Adrien Broner to win. He trained hard. We've been down there with Kevin Cunningham. We visited them. He's shown us the house, the cook. You're ready to train, and it's a good regimen down there. So I had a good feeling for Adrien Broner for this fight. And the beginning half, to me, was just, I'm not going to say a disappointment, but I was worried. I was worried that he was just going to continue throughout the whole fight like that, and he was just going to let it slip. But he turned it up, right? He turned it up second half of the fight. What'd you think about that?
I mean, I don't know if I could give him credit for turning it up.
I got to describe what turning it up means.
It's just that, I mean,
turning it up, he increased his volume in punches. He was coming through with the guard up, and and letting Vargas shoot off too many times at certain points. And that's what had me worried. But the second half of the fight, he started trading with him and countering back, and really walking him down, but not just holding his hands up, punching too. And I think throughout the second half of the fight, Adrien Broner was really hammering Jessie Vargas with some good straight shots. And you could tell his face was a test to that. He had a bad cut. Well, not a super bad cut, but he definitely had a cut. And it showed. It showed that Adrien Broner's punches affected Vargas more than Vargas' punches affected Adrien, which I thought was kind of crazy because I thought Jessie Vargas was going to put a beating on him.
Well, Vargas' record indicated that he didn't have that much power. We were all kind of, I guess, hoping that he did, since we seen what he did to Saddam Ali, and we didn't know if that was newfound power, man strength, and was he going to continue? And I think that maybe the power did dip a bit, or is a bit over exaggerated, simply because he was landing very, very clean body shots on Broner. Broner did use a high guard, not in a very beneficial way, I don't think, anyway. Again, Vargas was landing a bunch of body shots. They're lucky, I think, that it was a draw. You get the wrong judge in there that likes body work. Vargas was able to land two punches to the body minimum when he did an exchange. It was ridiculous. I didn't understand it, but it's like you said, Broner was behind a high guard and walking forward, giving the entire, body away.
You know what? Going back to the body shots you were talking about that Jessie Vargas was giving Broner, man, that's one of the things that I thought too was going to affect Broner if he allowed it to continue the second half of the fight. Body shots tend to slow you down, and it didn't show that. It didn't show that for Broner. It didn't show like he was damaged. It was something like, again, I thought it was going to really affect Adrien Broner in the second half, and it just, to many of our surprises, I guess, because we were just planning on seeing Broner finish the fight the way he started the first fight, but he changed it. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the screams of Kevin Cunningham. I don't know if it was a self-realization of Adrien Broner while he was in the corner, but to me, he definitely, quote unquote, turned it up second half of the fight, and actually managed to pull the draw from the judges, because like I said, those body shots were, even though they weren't showing on his face, they were affecting, they were scoring. I don't know about affecting, but they were scoring points.
Our good friend and LA correspondent, soon to be Texas, got a job over there in a college in Texas. So congratulations to Aaron Cancel. He says Vargas wins that fight if it were in Vegas. What do you think about territory? Luckily, this time it was neutral territory by being in the Barclays Center, which, Broner being the main event, this card came really close to 14,000, I think, or really close to 15,000.
Yeah, something in between those two figures. There was a big crowd out there, and crowd. We can go ahead and take that as an opinion, because or maybe a well valued opinion, because it does kind of give the home crowd advantage. Not necessarily so much for Adrien Broner, but we know that, he has close ties to the music community there too. I think Rick Ross was there, Tekashi. He had a lot of support other than just boxing.
But I didn't see Tekashi. I heard the music. I didn't see
outside. It was outside. Even if Tekashi, I don't know if he was inside. There's no videos that I've seen so far out, but he definitely was outside the Barclays Center. There's other other videos you could check out now on YouTube that, say that, he was out there, his click shot out towards the Adrien Broner squad. There's a whole bunch of things circulating out there. We don't know what's true, but what I do know is that Tekashi managed to give even more attention to Adrien Broner. So I feel like Adrien Broner was a big pull. That $1 million purse was well well deserved. He definitely brought a lot of attention to the card.
I mean, you're right. I was with a casual, and the first question was, "Oh, so you're into boxing? Did Broner win?" And I'm like, "Oh, you know Broner?" He was like, "I don't really know him, but I know he had a fight." And I seen the Tekashi stuff. And they heard the rumors that Tekashi was gonna walk him out, but all rumors. The final attendance at the Barclay was through 13,964 tickets sold. So, or in attendance, however you want to word it, being as though some promoters give away comp tickets. Overall, Adrien Broner lives to fight another day. Doomsday. I mean, at the very least, what this means is his pay grade doesn't drop because he didn't take a loss, and he can possibly garner more money. You know, with enough arguing, saying, "Man, I won that fight. People think I won that fight," and the right fight. If his manager, Al Haymon, comes at him and says, "Hey, let's do the Danny Garcia fight," that's a big fight. That's a big fight that he'll probably get more than $1 million even without this win.
I mean, yeah, definitely a save, so to speak, for Adrien Broner the second half of the fight, because if it wasn't for that turnaround, he definitely would have been in a bad situation.
And the only reason I bring it up is because we all know Charlo,
He's deleted.
felt as if Broner lost that fight, he would be deleted. And it's like I said, look, he put up a spirited effort. He entertained. He didn't do any antics. There was no humping. There was no complaining to the ref. And like you said, he kicked up in the end. It was still a draw. And I'm not completely
how surprised were you? Surprised? How surprised were you?
No, I wasn't because I could see that it was tight. I could see that Jessie Vargas kind of deflated. I don't know if taking away those 3 last pounds to make this catch weight of 144 depleted him. I'm not sure. Much like in the opening bout with Gervonta Davis, he looked stellar, amazing,
great shape,
a hot shot. But the thing is,
hard hitting kid.
How hot, how stellar is he when his opponent is a smaller person moving up for the first time? Getting on that level. Like if you're gonna move up. Don't jump to that level.
You're talking about Cueller, right? That was Jesus Cueller jumping up for the first time, 130.
Yeah, man.
Oh man.
He fought Abner Mares at 126. But this is the thing, and we're bouncing, so we might as well do that by saying grade Broner's performance, so we can move on to the next fight. Both Broner's and Vargas, letter grade, A being the best, obviously, like the school systems.
I'm gonna give Broner a 7. I would have gave him the 8-9, man, if he would have moved them hands a lot more in the beginning.
Did you hear that right here? Did you hear this?
He's deleted.
That's for you. I literally just said give him a grade, A being the greatest, like the school system, and you jump into numbers.
Okay, that shit flew right over my head, bro, like a paper airplane. Sorry. Let's go back to that. All right, we're gonna give him a C+.
Okay, C+. Why?
I mean, just because he was able to, real time, fight time, get out of that fucking funk halfway through the fight and come back and do what he did. He didn't fall into that fucking just holding your fucking guard up and catching, deflecting punches and not scoring right away. So, I mean, to me, yeah, I give him a C+. He was catching Vargas with straight shots, and apparently, visibly, you could see that Adrien Broner's shots was affecting Jessie Vargas a lot more, especially in the cara. So, yeah, I give him a C+. Now, Jessie Vargas, on the other hand, I got to give him, likewise. Look, if we're going to go draw, it was a draw. I'm scoring the number system the same way. I'm going to give him a C+. Simple fact, because he attacked the body so well. His jabs are really stabbing the body a lot of times, and you see that his first half of the fight was more volume punching. There's a lot more volume in Jessie Vargas' first win half of the fight. So yeah, I give him a C+ too. Even though second half of the fight he lost the fight. He let the fight slip from him. I don't know if it was conditioning or what issue it was, but he definitely slowed down. He didn't take as many body shots as Broner did from him. So that's to show you that Adrien Broner shots were affecting Vargas's, in my opinion, a lot more.
Now, here's the thing, right? Like, Broner didn't get a loss. So I feel like he's still just as marketable. Like, maybe before this fight, you know, some questioned him. But because he went through a full training camp, because he didn't tire, because he came on late, because it was at least a spirited effort. Yes, there was still some of that high guard, shoving tactics, forearms, illegal forearms that he, you know, is kind of doing his own version of the Floyd forearm.
You want to talk about the referee a little bit?
Well, yeah, just give me a minute. There was still some of that, but it wasn't the Broner versus Porter. It wasn't Broner versus Mikey where the performance is just like, man, it's so flat, and you're like, oh, you question his level. Like, with this performance, I don't know. I think a fight with him and Danny Garcia is a fun fight. I think a fight with him and Amir Khan is a big fight. If he decides to get on his airplane, go to the UK, fight Amir Khan out there, you know, maybe this is even a pay-per-view. Maybe this is the fight that Broner needs, right? Khan has done a pay-per-view. Maybe they can sell this as a pay-per-view in the UK, and Broner can start there the way that Triple G did. You know, Triple G's international pay-per-view. Well, the numbers in the UK, I believe, were somewhere around 400. But that being said, those are my final thoughts, I guess, on that. You know, because of his performance, anything with Broner I'm willing to see it. I'm willing to see him with another camp with Kevin Cunningham. I'm willing to see him give it another 100% effort to see what outcome we get, because even he felt disappointed in the outcome.
That was a colorful post-fight interview in the ring, right?
I know. He went back and forth with Jim Gray. He kept trying to grab the mic, and Jim wasn't letting him grab the mic. I mean, Gray is on point, bro.
Oh, man. It was an entertaining. Like, this is one thing you get from Adrien Broner is entertainment.
Yeah, I mean, look, the boy does numbers, man. He does numbers, but we'll see. Lately, numbers have been coming out more and more recent. We'll find out if he peaked at a mil, went over a mil, the average.
Numbers don't lie. You're right.
Numbers don't lie. And that's what's really gonna, you know, drive the next fight. But it's good to hear Earl say things like, there's Sean Porter out there, there's Danny Garcia out there. He's not thinking of Keith anymore. He's ready to move on. So hopefully the rest of the welterweight division feels the same way, and they're not waiting on Keith Thurman, and they're ready to mix it up. But we're mentioning Earl, and we'll get to that in the breaking news. He does have his fight finally announced. We'll touch on that and his Showtime interview on the telecast a little later. Well-deserved co-main event. I mean, you can tell that the future is bright for Jermall Charlo, aka Future of Boxing is his Instagram handle. Because he was a co-main event without a belt, Doomsday, without a belt on the line, even though there was some sort of version of a belt. Now, I don't know, you know, we would need Matt here for that. I don't know if both of these belts were interims, like, because I'm pretty sure Jermall's was some sort of international or interim or silver WBC while he waits with his mandatory position. It's like the mandatory belt while you wait for the full title. And then Gervonta, now he could be with a regular WBA, because we know the WBA does super WBA, regular WBA, interim WBA. So I don't even know what is what at this point. Okay, Matt on the Matt stats, playing producer in the back end. Shout out to Matt that couldn't make it. No babysitter. Patreon ain't paying enough. You know, he can't afford those expensive babysitters. So he's in the back like Batman. Excuse me, not like Batman, like Wizard of Alfred. Like Alfred in the Batcave as Batman is out there. He says interim WBC belt. So there you go. But what about that WBA, Mr. Matthew? So actually, did you pick Broner? I guess we both have to eat crow because, you know, draws pay money and you have to bet on a draw. So we didn't bet the draw. We obviously get the crow. That's mine. There's no fun in sharing. You take your own and go from there.
Yeah. I definitely should have seen this come. Why is there a back? Hello?
It comes every now and then. But yes, Jermall Charlo, for those that don't know, for those stumbling on the show, for our casual fan listeners, Jermall Charlo is the twin. And he and his twin have already cemented their name in the history books by becoming brothers who simultaneously held championships in the 154-pound division. Jermall had a fight yesterday on the Barclays Center card with Hugo Centeno, who I thought would at least put more of an effort or present more of a challenge. But like Triple G was showing us Doomsday in his early stage of his HBO career, like when he hit US television and shit, he's, you know, Jermall showing us his power is real because Triple G has been here. Triple G has beaten 154-pounders that move up to fight him at 160, and he's handled them in good fashion. I don't know if he's ever had a second round knockout, but I'm sure he has. I don't know if he's ever been on this level of an opponent, but I'm sure he has because I remember Gil, right? Maybe Gil was like third round, and Gil has gone on to be a world champion. At one point, he held the IBF. So, you know, I say all that to say Charlo really went through Hugo.
Yeah.
Like,
you know what? One thing I got to give the future of boxing is that he has a killer instinct. I mean, in the fight, and not just this fight, even in this fight with I believe it was Hatley. Yeah, he has a good right cross, a good turnaround in the inside, and you now that you're back on this, the fight that he had with Hatley, he had the same type of knockout.
Wrong Charlo,
right? Yeah, you know what? That's why I needed you back on here. But you know what? It's crazy because both the twins have the same type of right hand on the inside. What I mean by that is that when they get into these quick interchanges in with their opponents, they're able to pivot and turn in with that right hand, and it massacres their opponent every time. They have a killer instinct, and both of them right now. And with Triple G, I mean, he said it at the end of the fight. I'm ready for him. The confidence is there. They're full of confidence, and they know how to punch, and they punch good. They knock out their opponents.
Yeah, I mean, look, they also are on record feeling like the pity pat boxer style, the flashy pad work that Boog does over at Headbangers Gym, you know, the Adrien Broner pad work, the Tank Davis pad work, the Floyd Mayweather pad work. Even though they credit Floyd, you know, they say, look, no one outside of Floyd ever made that shit work. You know, they're more about the technicals, the basics, and they stick to that.
Like I said, I want to see Triple G talk about Charlo. You know what I mean? I never really seen in the interviews him talking about Charlo or wanting to face Charlo.
Yeah, I don't think Triple G is even going to fight him, man. I think that they're going to get an extension long enough to negotiate with Canelo, right? And if they can't make that, they'll get something with Billy Joe, which is a unification. And then probably by then Triple G goes off into the sunset, right? Because let's look at this right now. Triple G is 36 years old. He has 184 rounds boxed.
Professionally, right?
Professionally. Not to mention those 300 and something amateur fights. So he already has a fight scheduled that we will be live. We're going to have live fighters there. So definitely, if you're going to be in StubHub Center in Carson, California, don't forget Triple G's putting his IBO, WBA, and WBC titles on the line in StubHub versus Lainez Matarosian. We will be doing a live pre-fight kind of tailgate party. We'll have our own little booth out there in StubHub, and we'll have some fighters come through, take some pictures with you guys. We'll obviously be doing our live show coming through speakers. We'll have everything recorded. We have officially gotten Titan Media to come and, record it for our Patreons, so you guys get that first dibs on it once it's all edited up. And, we're also going to be giving out fight tickets, autographed gloves, and shirts. Not only TBV shirts, not only Triple G shirts, but also Boxing Fan Apparel shirts. So if you're in the LA area for Cinco de Mayo, come on out and party with us pre-fight before, the fight goes down. We're booked for 2 hours, 4 to 6 for sure. But, depending on you guys, we definitely have that window open to do 3 hours if you guys make it exciting enough. Shout out to my boy Mataruski, man. He's official tissue. So, yeah, man, I mean, look, Triple G's 36, bro, right? So, he's taking this fight with Lainez, and that's happening Cinco de Mayo. We got to say, a month vacation, get to negotiation. We're talking June, July. They announced something for September with Canelo if everything goes smoothly, if there's no hiccups in negotiations again, if Triple G all of a sudden doesn't think, or his team doesn't tell him that all of a sudden he needs more now of a percentage because, Canelo tested positive or whatever, because Canelo is more shamed. He's less of an A side. If any of these thoughts jump in their head and these negotiations go past September, right? Triple G's birthday is April, bro. So next year he's 37 now. And he's still trying to negotiate with Canelo because guess what? He doesn't want to fight Jermall Charlo, not because he's afraid, because the money is not the same. It's a mandatory fight. He's still trying to get his super fight with Canelo. He got one. They made 1 million pay-per-views. But, dude, everybody wants a couple. Mayweather had a couple. Pacquiao had a couple. Cotto had a couple super fights. Canelo has had a couple super fights already.
So Triple G needs a couple super fights, then.
Exactly. So he's going to try and negotiate with the sanctioning bodies. He's going to try and, finagle as much time as possible to get that. Because I don't think, look.
Who else is out there besides the Canelo fight that was going to happen? I mean,
that represents money.
Represents money.
Billy Joe Saunders is another fight that represents less money than the Canelo fight, but can represent more money than the Charlo fight.
Can we get another Triple G fight by the end of the year? Or is this it for Triple G for the year?
I mean, we're talking about Cinco de Mayo, and they're talking about scheduling September, right? I mean, Canelo's suspension is up in August. They're trying to do Cinco. They're trying to do Mexican Independence Day, brother, in September.
Yeah. Well,
I'm pretty sure that their goal was to get it off in Cinco de Mayo and then come back again in September. A more tired version of Triple G. If they won, it would have been a defeated version of Triple G.
Do you think that this affects the fans' view on wanting to watch the fight? After this whole thing that happened, are the fans still as excited, or is it?
It really is going to depend on how good they run through their last performances, right? Like, for instance, Charlo just ran through Centeno. So it doesn't matter that he's a 54-pounder. It doesn't matter that we don't really know him at 60 or 54. Hardcores know him enough, but it doesn't really matter. Just like it didn't really matter when Triple G beat up Gabriel Rosado, who was a 54-pounder. It really didn't matter. It was like, because of the way he did it. He was all bloody. You got the sound bite. Chino, no, he's gonna kill him.
Yeah. It was a very dramatic.
You got the trainer talking about that you're gonna get the son killed if you don't pull the fight. So it's like, you had little things, bro. And when you put on good performances, you kind of get passes. People are sour on certain opponents, but a performance can change that. If you can go through the guy that we already assume you're going to go through him, but excite us in the process, you did your job and you did it well. And that's what Charlo did, to be honest with you. I mean, yo, it's like you said,
it was
right hand. I mean, but it was a left hook. That's what was more crazy to me. Not that it was a left hook, but the fact that the left
finisher,
hook,
it was the finisher. Yeah.
Finished him with Centenio's hand up, glued to his face. So he was in the defense. It didn't matter though. The power was so
no. What happened was he went on
hit him on the forehead, in the front of the forehead,
inside the glove. He went inside the guard, which is pretty damn good. To he was a good adjustment on Charlo's part. He was able to throw the hook, even though the guard was up. He went in between because of the angle he chose to punch from. It was an impressive knockout, man. I didn't see it. I actually had the fight going to at least the mid rounds, before anything spectacular would or could happen. But he did it in the second round, and it was it was pretty impressive. And kudos to him. When a boxer talks his smack and he backs it up, sort of had let Ness get back on here. It sort of had Ness. It was sort of like he had like a Conor moment, the Charlo, Yeah, he predicted. He said that he would give the fans something special to take home, that he would give them something special, and he did, man. Kudos to him for doing that, for being he backed his smack up. And I hope that he continues to, be exciting, be who he is, and bring about this Triple G fight with him, man. I really, really want to see them two go in the ring and see which one of those would be victorious.
Now, here's the thing. For those out there that are like, man, this was a great performance from Charlo, Triple G's tied up, I think we might not get to see Charlo for probably the rest of the year. He's in a mandatory position. We've seen Earl Spence do this. Al Haymon fighters will now wait in line for that opportunity. And this is an opportunity. It's a life-changing opportunity to A, either fight and defeat Triple G, B, fight and defeat Triple G with all those titles, or C, fight and defeat Triple G after coming off of Triple G beating Canelo. So, it's only a good thing for Charlo. Now, he's made $500,000 allegedly for this fight versus Hugo Centeno. Hugo got away with $235,000. Now, with that type of money, mind you, this is why I don't ever believe any of these purses, because we could go back and find Charles Hatley versus Jermall Charlo, WBC 154-pound champion. And when he fought Hatley, he was on record only getting $100,000 for a title defense. Here we have a challenger fighting for a vacant or a mandatory position that comes with some sort of belt attached to it, but essentially doesn't make you a world champion. Not that I'm trying to discredit anything. He is in line to be world champion if he can get the win. But that being said, with this amount of purse and such a great position, do we not see him? Does he just wait his turn the way that Earl waited for Kell Brook almost a year, if not a year? Yeah, so Doomsday wants to give us some dead air. Call him drop the ball face with the,
Sorry about that. No, people, who else is out there right now that brings out a good money fight for Jermall at that weight? I mean, who's at that weight right now? Is Andrade at that weight?
Andrade is at that weight, but he is with another network, kind of, right? Kind of.
So what is
that?
I
don't even know if Andre wants that work. I mean, this guy, look, this is what I'm saying, right? With Triple G excited us because it didn't matter who he fought, he knocked him out. With this guy, it's starting to be the same. It don't matter. This is the only
There's a story behind that, though. There's a story behind that.
But this is the only guy I know, Doomsday. This is the only guy I know that has knocked down 3 or more people with a jab. Like, he legitimately has either A, heavy fucking hands, or he's a huge puncher.
No, listen, you know what it is? and this is with all the Ronnie Shields fighters. Kudos to Ronnie Shields and the way he trains. I'm very fond of that, the way his style is. But all his fighters are committed punchers. They all commit, and that's where the power.
So you're saying right now on record that Laura commits? Because Laura's a Ronnie Shields fighter.
No, but I mean in the immediate power punching group, which is the twins and Errol Spence. Earl's landing louder.
Hold on, Doomsday casual. Because Earl isn't with Ronnie, and nor is
excuse me, not Ronnie Shields, Derek James, and
that's a totally different trainer. You mixing up brothers here. Yo, the Charlos are gonna see you and whoop your ass.
Nah,
yo, he gonna be like, yo, Doomsday, ain't you an amateur? Shove you some headgear and shit.
Hey, you know me.
One show.
No, listen. I just, like I said, my mistake. I mixed up the trainers. What I meant was Derek James. I always get those two mixed up. You know that.
But that's what I'm trying to tell you, fam. You bring up Derek James, he still trains the other brother.
What I'm saying is that they all. Well, let me just refer to the two who train with Ronnie Shields.
Laura and Jermall.
Okay, and Earl.
Not Earl. I'm gonna punch this guy.
Who is Earl trained by? Is it not Derek James?
Doggy, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? What he's smoking over there?
Who is Earl Spence Jr.?
Let me just lead you through this. Derek James trains Earl Spence.
That's what I'm saying. What are you smoking over there?
Okay, no. So then what the hell does Derek James and Earl have to do with Jermall? Go ahead and connect it.
Listen, that was my misconnection because the other brother's the one that trains with Derek James. What I'm saying,
I've been telling you that for the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, I just
Ronnie. I mean Derek. I mean Jermall.
I came to a realization you were still talking about my earlier mistake. But anyway, at the end of the day, what I'm saying is in the way their punching and aggressive styles are, and you totally now I've lost my mind where I was going with any of this conversation. Just scratch all of that. How about that?
Yo, this is your brain. Yo, I bet you people don't even know that slogan anymore, right?
Which one?
Look, see, this is your brain. This is your brain on drugs. You didn't even know. You couldn't even finish it for me.
I'm not even.
That's when like people used to care about drugs, or that was also propaganda, right? It's like spewing shit,
bro. I'm drinking an iced tea here.
You're lying. That shit is definitely spiked. If you don't know which Jermall and Jamel, like that's crazy. But he did good, and I hope that he doesn't remain in that Earl Spence, realm where he's just waiting. Even though I know the opportunity is huge, even though I know it's not worth the risk to get in there with another nobody that nobody cares and get a flashy knockout or risk a cut or an injury. The smart thing to do is wait. But man, he's so exciting. I don't want to see him go so long without fighting, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, let's talk about Gervonta Tank Davis. I guess the first thing I want to mention is the fact that his ring attire is done by Drake the rapper, his OVO line. That was pretty cool to see. And these are the little things that can cross you over, because he's very close to 1 million now followers on Instagram. He's very popular. As you can see, they mentioned the amount of people in attendance for Tank on last night's telecast, and you can hear the cheers. He brought a crowd, and he was the opening bout, which was funny because they mixed him in. Well, I mean, I guess we always knew that Charlo was going to fight, but they put Charlo in between that, between he and Broner. But Tank, man, I think that Tank had the best performance of the night And that's not saying that Charlo's wasn't equally as good, but because Charlo made his easy work, because Charlo took 2 rounds, I'm not discrediting him. There's just more to see and admire in Tank's performance because it went a couple of rounds more. You know, he was able to show us more. Charlo did the job in less, so there is in no way, you know, any discrediting in that. I just feel that the performance of the night, due to the nature of it, the combination punching, the defense,
but you know what? Like, you look at the opponents, compare the opponents, and do you still feel the same way?
Similar opponents, yes. Actually, Doomsday. Cueller is at least a former champion. Not
but you mentioned earlier that he's the guy,
you
mentioned earlier he's the guy coming up for the first time.
The guy coming up.
And Centeno,
Pacquiao came up.
Centeno
did Miguel Cotto come up? People move up. It's up to you to perform like you belong there.
Yeah, but he didn't. And if you ask me, in that Tank was way more powerful, faster, stronger. I mean, the only chance he had really was at certain times where he put pressure on Gervonta, but Gervonta was able to outbox him. Listen, it was a great, stellar performance, but you know, Jermall finished the fight faster and in a more, you know, dominant fashion.
Well, his knockout was definitely a knockout. Like Centeno was out and it was scary. But again, we were given more from Tank because of the duration. And because of that, we got to see flashy counter punch combinations, uppercuts. We got to see swag, you know, not saying that we didn't from Jermall. I'm not saying that. I'm saying because this fight went longer, Tank was able to do his thing, man. He was able to look really sharp. Now, I want to see him look really sharp versus a true 130-pounder, which brings me to the Lomachenko afterthought. Floyd Mayweather dangled that carrot out there a couple weeks ago on the Showtime telecast, saying that if Tank were able to win this fight, that the Lomachenko fight would be next. But we all know that that isn't true, simply because Lomachenko has already a signed fight for, I believe, May 12th, right? May 12th, maybe. Matt, get me on the producer thing there. The producer team. I think it is May 12th or something like that, where he and Lainez in an entirely different weight class. So, like, I don't know. Now, can Lomachenko turn around and say, yeah, I'm coming back down? Let's make the fight after he beats Lainez. Yeah, he could say that. The same way that Mikey won at 140 and he said, hey, I'm coming back down, and he gave up that belt. Now he's going to be at 135. He could totally say that, but that still makes Tank wait. So in the interim, he's now finally acknowledging and talking about Tevin Farmer and a unification. But Farmer has business with Gibbs for the vacant IBF title that was previously held and lost on the scales by Tank Davis. So, I mean, what do you think of the storyline? And is that the route you would like to see the 21-0 Tank go now? Right? He is 21-0, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, the storyline, it definitely paves the way for an interesting story lead up to the fight, right? If they chose to go that route. And it would be him, you know, reclaiming what he lost. It would be, I think, a sense of reaccomplishment for him, sense of, you know, sort of redeeming, you know, that loss on the scale. So, yeah, I think it'd be an interesting route to take.
Now, we overlooked the fact that he came in on weight and he lost his last belt on the scales.
1 pound underweight, too.
Yeah, he came in 1 pound underweight, where the last fight with Francisco Fonseca, he was 132. For last night's fight on Friday, the weigh-in, he weighed 129. And they made a lot of, they gave a lot of credit for that to Kevin Cunningham. Like you said in your opening statement, when we started the show, we were out there. We got to see this Camp Cunningham firsthand. We got to see the living quarters. We got to see the gym, and we actually fought in the gym.
Yeah, it was.
And, you know, look, he put together a good Tank. a focused one, a lean one. And I would like to see Tank, take however many days he feels fit, not too many, not more than 2 weeks. And I want to see him go right back down there. I want to see him stay in shape. I want to see him, just living that. I guess you can't live down there while you're in the interim, while you're waiting, but he has to not balloon up. I say going back down there, he can continue sparring with Devin Alexander, who obviously may or may not be having something coming up. He can keep running in that nice weather. It would be easier to keep the weight off in that nice weather. I wish Tank the best, man. I want the best performances from him. I hate when fighters, when we have to have the excuse of the weight, you know what I mean? I want, and not just making it or missing it, either, being overweight, being too muscular, adding strength and conditioning, whatever like intangible that all of a sudden makes a fight into one of those fights that we have to say, oh, but this happened. It has to have an asterisk next to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get you, man. No one comes in at 100% ever, right? But you never want to see something like that where it was something that could have definitely been, avoided or controlled. But as far as like Gervonta Davis's future right now, and what the public might want, especially after him talking about he wants the winner of the Tevin Farmer and Gibbs fight. I think the Tevin Farmer fight is going to be that fight that's going to garner a lot of attention because of just the social media buildup that it's had for quite a while now. I remember when they had that in not an altercation, but they had this kind of like run-in. I forgot what fight exactly that was. I believe I was with you on that one. That
was the Lomachenko fight, wasn't it?
It was a Lomachenko, and there's YouTube videos out there from various angles of what was going on, and from there, I think it was one of the beginning of the spark ups in social media. So
it's kind of died out because the Davis camp chose to ignore Farmer, act as if he didn't exist. When reporters would ask about Farmer, they're like, who? Tevin who? Would be the response from Leonard Ellerby, would be the response from Floyd Mayweather. Only one that would acknowledge him is Tank, but never, always in a beneath me kind of way. So it's good to see that they're at least talking about Farmer, because I know Farmer's team has been wanting this fight for a while. And we'll see what it proves. We'll see what it proves, because at the end of the day, Farmer is a very skilled fighter, but he's worried about defense more than he is offense. And that's why he had a fight where he was able to be robbed with that last fight that he did have. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. You got to land punches, and Tank is throwing with conviction. He's throwing with he's got a mean, street.
He also has a killer instinct, just like I was mentioning before from the Charlo brothers. It's just that once they hit you and they know they hit you good, they continue hitting you with hard shots, man. And they're not throwing wild. They're really calculated punches, and they're in very good shape. And when they, like I said, when they hit you once and they know they hit you, they got you rattled. They continue to hit you, but it's all very nice and tight. Punches that are in the inside. They're not wild. So, a dangerous kid. He's gonna. I don't know who's gonna be able to give. Who's gonna be that test for Gervonta Davis? Who's gonna be that test that we're gonna say, hey, damn, we really seen him. Get tagged. I never really seen Gervonta get tagged before. That's yet to be seen. See how well he can take a punch. You don't know that until it happens. So yeah, I want to know what fighter you think Ness is going to be that fighter that's going to test him, sort of like that pressure that's going to be hard for Gervonta to just easily overpower. Strong fighter. What strong fighters in the division that can give him a problem right now?
Not really.
Not
really sure, man. That's it's Loma's division, so until Loma drops them belts, they could get Burchett, but I believe Matt will have to tell. I think Burchett might have popped, right? I mean, he's at the top of the division. He's always been at the top. Like, this division has prospect, you know. Alberto Machado, he's a Golden Boy prospect, I believe. You know, you got Miguel Roman, who just beat. I forgot who Miguel Roman just beat. He just had a big win on HBO not too long ago. Who the fuck did Miguel? Salido. It was the Salido win. He beat Salido. You got Francisco Vargas, who we just seen versus who did Vargas just beat? Vargas just fought like a week ago. Who did Vargas? Rod Sauka. You know what I mean? Like, yo, honestly speaking, be like, Tank runs through all these people. Like, there's nobody I don't pink Tank.
Ryan Garcia. How about Ryan Garcia?
He's too young, bro. He's too young. He's too young. Tank punches too hard. Like,
he punches pretty hard too, though.
Yeah, but Ryan keeps his chin up. Ryan got his chin up high.
He's tall. He's a tall fighter.
Yes, I mean, and he's fast, but so is Tank. So we got to. It'll probably slow down Ryan. We'll start seeing Ryan at a slower pace because they're both fast. But it doesn't matter if you pick Ryan or whatever. Ryan's not there. They would have to offer Ryan a shot. And Ryan, I like the kid, but he ain't there yet. He ain't there to say, "Oh, I'm 12-0. Give me a shot at Tank for his belt." He don't bring enough tickets. He don't bring enough TV. It ain't there. But yeah, I picked Tank to run through anybody in his division. Would it be a good fight? Jason Sosa, I like versus Tank, but it doesn't really do much unless you want a common opponent with Vasil. You know what I mean? But I think I don't know who's the champion, right? Who's got the BC? Because I remember I thought Burchell and Francisco had it. I don't know who ended up with it now. What's Vasil got? How many he got?
How many what?
Belts. He had the WBO, or that's all he
had? He got 3 belts, right?
Which one? WBO?
Is it the IB?
Matt says Burchell has the BC. So then Tank could go for Burchell, but that's the thing. You think Golden Boy is going to do business with Al Haymon or with Floyd Mayweather to give Tank a unification that they know their guy can't beat?
Have they been doing business at all?
I want to say yes and no, right? So I'm not sure. It's hashtag Matt Stats right now. Because, you know, they went through like a breakup and shit, you know? That shit was not cool. That shit, you know, Richard Schaefer got put on like, what? Matt saying the Tank is now WBA shampooer, Machado champ. What the hell? Oh, Machado's the full champ? How the hell he get a belt? Who he take that from?
Machado.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so I don't even know what to really say about our next topic with our good friend. You remember him?
Let's go, baby! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Yeah, man. It looks like we might be going, or at least find out that we're not going when it comes to this fight. They're supposed to have a sit down. And by they, it is Eddie Hearn, Shelly Finkel, and Al Haymon is coming out of the wherever he's normally at, right? People don't get to see him, but he's coming out to try and make this fight. Yeah. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's a good sign. It's a good sign that they want to make this fight happen. You know, the top guys and promoters in our sport getting together with to make a fight happen with the 2 top heavyweights in the world. We know that it's going to be serious talk. It's going to be serious offers being discussed. So yeah, it's a good step forward for me in wanting this fight to finally happen. I don't know how soon, but let's hope soon.
Deal with this behind closed doors, because a lot of negotiations can go on over social media and YouTube channels and stuff. But
well, since negotiations can't go over social media and YouTube channel, Eddie Hearn has confirmed that he has a face-to-face with Al Haymon and Shelly Finkel in New York on Thursday. to discuss Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder. That was on social media.
Yeah.
The offer that was out was also on social media, and it was accurate. So it was real. So I don't know, man. To say that things don't happen on social media is kind of like BS, right? You got top ranks Carl Moretti, who is like a VP over there, matchmaker as well, probably. He used social media to tweet the same person, Eddie Hearn, and said, hey, Eddie Hearn and Amir Khan. So he added both of them so they both are aware. He says, please join us in Las Vegas for Bud Crawford, which means Terrence Crawford because this is Bud's verified social media, versus Jeff Horn. And he puts Jeff Horn's social media. And he says, you can have the winner at Bud in the Garden and he put some flag there. So one of my listeners will have to tell me, I don't know if that's a Pakistani flag, because he put the crazy face after that, as if to say we could go to Khan's home country if the money's right, because that's definitely not a UK flag. So I don't know what type of flag that is. But yeah, and this is going to Eddie Hearn for a completely different fight because he has Amir Khan under Matchroom Boxing. So I'm just saying, we are in a day and age where social media is a lot more powerful than a lot. Is a lot more powerful than a lot,
Nah, social media has a big impact. For people to sit here and say that, oh, you shouldn't be going on or this, that, and the third. Listen, this is the times we're living in, man. You put it on social media, it reaches the masses a lot quicker than something done, behind closed doors and then put out there. You do everything on social media, it's out there immediately. Any results from this meeting, they're going to happen. If it gets put out on social media, the whole world will know it. These are the platforms that we have, and this is the way we communicate. Now, a fight happening this year, Ness, I really don't think that's going to happen. I think this is going to be for 2019. Unfortunately, that's just my opinion.
Now, I've been just sent some pictures here. I'm not understanding who is this. I don't know. I've been sent some. I don't know if it's Floyd sparring or a new Floyd Mayweather. Oh, it is Floyd. There's a video too. So Floyd staying in shape, sparring. I've been sent some footage of Floyd sparring recently, looking sharp. I guess he was sparring the real Joe Sway or whatever. Not 100% sure. Totally off topic, but that's a little break, and we get that in from our APs and whatever's hot on the beat. We're bringing it to you. We got to mention Carl Frampton. That fight took place around 5 o'clock on Showtime's YouTube channel. Shout out to Showtime. I really like that. Not only Showtime, but anybody dealing in boxing are streaming to both YouTube and Facebook. That's pretty cool. I was able to watch and share this particular fight, Carl Frampton versus Nonito Donaire, with quite a few people, and hear that they were pleased with the quality of the stream. But
yeah, that Nonito Donaire fight, I don't know. I didn't even catch I missed a couple of rounds, but get the hell out of here, man. That's that. I expected Nonito to. We're always expecting Nonito to come back for the comeback, and for him to show us the old Nonito Donaire, and it didn't happen this time around.
Bro, he just likes to follow you around and wing shots, but like this fight served the purpose. You know what I mean? It was for Frampton to get more rounds. Frampton is vulnerable. He looked a lot better in his early days, and it's funny because he has very little amount of fights. He's just been banging with the best for a long time already. But Carl Frampton, I think himself only has like 20-something fights. Look, 25, 26, if you count the draw, right? And he's already fought a significant amount of names in his division. Why? Because he's like a career waiter, right? Like he's staying in and around that division. Like right now, he's still at 125, which is a 126 division. And he really started at that division, but then he slowly was able to get down to 122, win titles at 22, then move up and
It's
win
like
titles at 26.
he's easily outboxed.
You mean Donaire or Frampton?
No, Donaire. Easily outboxed, and that's exactly what Frampton did. They had a good game plan for him, and I don't know as far as trainers. If Nonito's had same trainer for a while, I don't know if he switched trainers.
I don't know. He was trained by his father once. I mean, he's really bounced around, bro. I don't know. I don't know what it is with Donaire other than when he was the man, he was at a lighter division and he was the bigger man. So he was capitalizing on his size advantage. But now, it's an even playing field. But for Carl, again, this was okay for Carl because he's rebuilding after the Leo Santa Cruz loss. He only has one loss. And this is what you want to do. He came back with Horacio Garcia. And he didn't look that great. So they found him a name that the world knows that's almost on the way out. Donaire could be announcing retirement anytime soon. Anytime soon. Because even Donaire has been rebuilding, right? So, like, he's going to have to rebuild again. Like, he lost the Walters fight. He was rebuilding. Then he went in there with Jesse Magdaleno. He only had one fight before this Frampton fight. And Jesse, that was a brutal fight. Jesse's a big hitter. That was a brutal fight. So, yeah. Nonito, he served his purpose for Frampton. I want to see where Frampton goes next. But what did he say? Something about fighting Donaire in his hometown or something, like a rematch or something like that.
I didn't get to hear none of that.
Yeah, I mean, it was weird. I don't know. He's definitely not looking to go into any sexy names, and I don't know why. But before we open up these phone lines, remember the number to call in if you want to voice your opinion. You want to talk to me and Doomsday. Let us know what you thought about this weekend's fights. Remember the number is 1-425-569-5241. International callers, Android, iPhone. You can download the Skype app absolutely free. Call us from anywhere in the world. Just add Nestor Gibbs on Skype and be part of the conversation. So yeah, another guy that doesn't want to fight is Gary Russell. They had him on a telecast last night. He's in a fight with Joseph Diaz Jr. and he's talking cash shit. He's like, I'm a lion. Joseph is a gazelle. The gazelle doesn't even know when the lion is about to attack. All this shit. But then Brian Custer's like, yo, bruh, but the fans want to know why you ain't fighting. He's like, yeah, because before I'm a fight, it's a business. So I don't get it. So anytime it's danger, he gonna outprice himself and just say, fuck it, I'll live. Because he about to get like 500,000 to fight Joseph Diaz. And I think that's what he's doing. Like, because if it was you and me and we ran across 5,000, nigga, we could live great for a year off of 5. So imagine him. You feel me? Like, he's chilling. I don't think he wants to fight. I mean, he's fighting one time a year, bro. And he's in this division with Frampton, with Leo Santa Cruz and Abner Mars. Like, I don't know what's up. I don't get it.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I don't get it either. I really don't get it.
Well, Gary Russell is in action. He'll be fighting Joseph Diaz Jr., former 2012 Olympian. Joseph Diaz himself has 26 fights. He's been groomed by Golden Boy. I don't know if Joseph is ready for this fight, but you ain't never ready until you are, right? Until they put you in there is the only way to, show us. But what Gary Russell brings to the table is blistering speed. But we seen Lomachenko be able to take his power. So it's up to Joseph Diaz to watch tape, really push Russell, Make him uncomfortable.
I mean, Gary Russell is in his record. Does he have stoppages? Does he have KOs? Is he a power punching guy? You know what I mean? He's known for his hand speed. That's what he's known for. And I think Jojo is gonna be able to nullify some of that stuff. Maybe slow him down. His power shots. Gary was he had a real descriptive Nat Geo so to speak on live TV with Brian Custer and Earl Spence Jr. I don't know if did you manage to catch that?
Yeah, I caught some of the interview. What part specifically?
No, I don't know. He was just talking about the animal. I think he was talking.
Well, I just said that. Oh my God, this guy's more high than I thought. I just said he was saying how he's a lion.
Yeah.
And Joseph Diaz is a gazelle. What the hell is wrong with you today? You know what? This guy is all over the place. But you brought up Earl, and Earl announced yesterday on TV that his fight is official with Ocampos. And I think it was with Matt. I was debating, right? Like, yo, I said, Matt, are we going to Texas? And he's like, hell no. And I'm like, what the fuck do you mean? See, this is the problem with us. You know, if Kell Brook was fighting Ocampos, and we don't even have to say if Kell Brook was fighting Ocampos, because when Kell Brook fought Kevin Bizier, Jojo Dan, Hector Saldivia, fucking Vasil Sinchenko, I didn't say Lomachenko, so it's probably wrong. I think it's Sergey Sinchenko. I don't know. Whatever Sinchenko's name is, same Sinchenko that Paulie beat. You know, his fans showed up. He's still sold. Like, I don't get why us as boxing fans, we have to wait for fucking Broner Maidana for us to come out our house. And I get it, I guess. It's more expensive being a boxing fan than it is being a football fan or something like that. Maybe. I don't even know. I've never been a football fan. But, you know, you don't really have to fly for your team, right? Your team has a home field, so you could at least be a fan in their hometown. You know what I mean? Like, we don't get that. A fighter doesn't have scheduled hometown fights that he could come back to and build.
True. I mean, in a sense, a fighter can have a home. You know, like sort of like, you know, Danny's built the home in Barclay. Wilder also has sort of, you know, built the home in Barclay. But yeah, we don't have that luxury, man. We don't have the sports team hometown advantage and all that other stuff.
And we definitely don't have the fans loving their fighter, because Earl's going to make his first defense of Texas. Why shouldn't it be sold out?
It should be. And I don't know. I mean, you know, Earl, he has a lot of support, a lot of following.
Yeah, but a hardcore like Matt isn't going. Are you going to go?
I mean, if it's held in Texas, it depends. Depends what the flights are looking like. Depends on how the flights are looking for most of us. You know what I mean? You know, if in the end of the day, hardcore fans will take a trip down there. In my opinion,
I don't think that they will. I think they do the same exact thing that you just said,
which is,
how much are the flights? It depends. Who's he fighting? Man, I ain't spending $450 on a flight, hotel, and he fighting Ocampos. Who the fuck is Ocampos? Like, that's the problem. See, because team sports, it's more than one person for a person to be a fan of.
Right,
like,
right.
I'm a fan of fucking
the linebacker,
Jerry Rice and
yeah.
Young. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have so many positions you could be fond of when that's it's a one-man sport, man, and that's the reason why we don't have that luxury of having a stadium, for
you. Gotta listen to this. HB J Dog or CM. I don't know. This guy got more fucking letters in his
CSM HBG DOOG. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, look, you got fucking tongue tied there. He said, "Wow, we gonna be deep at the Spence fight." We'll see, man. I want to see that shit do numbers, like, because people want Spence to get this Thurman fight. Show the world he's a star, motherfucker. Go buy his tickets. Be out there. Ricky fucking Hatton brought 30,000 people from the UK to see him fight in Las Vegas versus Floyd. And yes, that's versus Floyd, but guess what? 30,000 don't even fit in there. They came knowing they couldn't get in. That's called support, man. We need to fucking learn that shit. You know?
No,
It's so sad because it's just in our American nature, I think. I think it's like a fucking force field.
Wait a minute, though. Like,
bubble around this world, because think about it, bro.
Yeah.
Like, even in our life, your own friends are the last ones to support your business.
But you know what? Damn, bro, I'm your friend. No, but just speaking like this.
Yeah, but you know you don't count.
Listen, Texas, it's a unified state. If Earl is fighting down there and that's their champion, I have a strong feeling that he could sell out. Just off that Houston, that don't mess with Texas attitude, I think they could do something.
I'm gonna tell you what they better do, okay? And this is what I want to fucking see. I don't understand why we gotta have dozens of shows about the same shit and no one get the fucking point. What they did Saturday night at the Barclays Center, they need to do that in Houston or Dallas, wherever the hell Earl is gonna fight. They need to have other Texas guys there. Get Mario Barrios on the call. He's from San Antonio, and put Hatley back on the card. Maybe Hatley versus Erickson Lubin. Two guys that need a comeback fight.
Nice.
But build cards properly. This is what they just did, right? It was Hurd and Laura. It was, who else was on the undercard of Hurd and Laura? Come on, help me, brother. Help me.
Hurd and Laura, they had
guys smokes too much weed, ladies and gentlemen.
Hold on, I'm just trying to,
hold on as we just go dead silent.
Okay, I was trying to Johnny Mnemonic the whole situation here.
Who's on the undercard of Hurd and Laura, brother? Who's on the undercard?
Let me, you know what?
I'm actually trying to get the fucking box rec myself.
That's what we're gonna do.
Where's Matt?
Matty
be good.
Matty be good.
Matt is probably rolling right now, like, they need me. his head, unfortunately, he can't move because it's stuck on the floor like a magnet.
Matt's a pirate right now.
Yo, where did that fight take place? I can't even find it. Was that Vegas? That was Vegas. Vegas.
Let's see. It was.
Why you need producers, man? Got to get that. Yo, patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. Help your team grow. We would have had this. Steven Calderon would have had this already. Like, hey, guys, on the undercard of Laura Hurd, it was Caleb Truax versus James DeGale. Julian Williams versus Nathan Gallimore.
That's right.
Sergio Mora versus Alfredo Angulo.
There we go.
And even further, they went into Emmanuel Medina versus Saul Corral, Mahed Muhammad versus Sharon Carter or Sharoni Carter. I'm going to go with Sharoni. And Xavier Martinez versus
assassinated the name.
I know. Whoever that is, but right. But like the first 9 names, I said that wrong. The first 6 names. Okay. Yes, the first 6 names. No, I was right the first time. The first 9 names, right? Because it's Laura. No, 6. Laura Hurd, Caleb Trax, James DeGale, Julian Williams, Nathan. No, it's more. Gallimore, Mora, and Alfredo Angulo. In that market, they sell tickets. Sergio Mora is bringing at least fucking 20 people. You know what I'm saying? And I know someone's going to laugh like, damn, really? That's 20. But no, it's a culmination. That's why you put certain people on cards so that eventually it's a sellout. That's how Lou DiBella does it. Why do you think Richardson Hitchens was on this undercard? Why do you think Chris Colbert fights on Barclays Center undercards like he was, a couple weeks ago? Like, this is what they do, and that's what they need to do in Texas for sure. That's what I would love to see them do in Texas with Earl. Spence is put together a decent undercard the way they have been. That would be good.
Now, who is it? So Ocampos, what's the first name?
The mandatory, man. I don't even know his first name, bro. He's like the mandatory, and you got to get rid of him. The only thing you could do is pay him step aside money, but that's if you had a big fight.
Nobody's lining up to fight Earl.
Nobody's lining.
I think the only one that's gonna fight Earl is the mandatory.
Yeah, and at least those guys are, right? Like some don't, right? Palomaro or Palomera, whatever. I don't even know his name, but he was Earl's mandatory too. And, you know, he said, I hit the road, Jack. You know, he wasn't interested. So not everybody's going to want to fight Earl, man. It's, we'll see, man. We'll see if Earl, like Triple G, right? Because Triple G had that stigma about him that he had like fear and things like that. You know, people feared getting in the ring with him because he was always a chainsaw. He was always a buzzsaw versus whoever. So we want to see that with Earl. We don't want to see a.
When did we see the human side, quote unquote, so to speak, of Triple G? His fight against Danny Jacobs, right?
Well, if you mean by human, you mean vulnerable?
Yeah.
I guess you're right. You know, he's not a man; he's a machine.
Yeah, he's not a machine.
Or he's not a machine; he's a man. Was probably. Was it the Jacobs or was it before that? I mean, I would say it was the Jacobs, but
the reason I'm saying
it was a tight fight. I don't think that Jacob. I know Jacob says that he heard the show and that I said I thought he lost. I don't remember. I don't know. I never went back and watched it either. But you know, it's a tight fight if people are undecided, and that's what you can't make it. You can't make it a tight fight. And Danny went down, you know. But yes, that was the starting point in he is not looking like the killer that he was. But there's a fandom of Triple G detractors that felt like no, he didn't start looking bad when he fought Jacobs. He never fought no one good. So we never got to see it because, you know, there are people out there that say, oh, he ain't really fight nobody.
I mean,
they don't really value some of those fighters. Like some of those guys were like C level, C plus, you know, B minuses. And some of these fans are a bit harsh, right?
Who did we think, though? Who did we think that in the fights that Kell Brook has had in the recent past, who was the one that we thought that was going to be the actual test for Earl, or are we yet to see that opponent?
No, I mean, Kell Brook was the test because Kell Brook had the win over Sean Porter, bro. He essentially he had less trouble with Porter than Thurman did, but this depends on the fight you like. See, I preferred Thurman's fight because he clinched less. He chose to fight where Kell Brook, equally intelligent, chose to, you know, hit and smother, so to speak, or to be nice because it's really hit and hold, but, you know.
Yeah. So basically right now in that division, the only the top fighters are who are the top fighters right now? They're in line to face Spence.
No one, bro. Like
besides, you know, let's say given that he does win his fight against Carlos Ocampos, like who does he look forward to then? I mean, not the, you know,
but that's what I'm telling you, no one, because he wanted Keith. Keith is injured.
What's up with that rematch? You know, we saw on social media him and Kell Brooks, you know, saw each other.
Kell Brooks in a different division, so it doesn't even matter. Earl doesn't have trouble making weight. He has no business entertaining fights at 54 just because Kell Brook is.
He said for a belt he would, but if not,
or a belt. Kell Brook doesn't have that yet. He still got business. Earl needs to train for a 147-pound fight. But it looks like we can go out to Mr. Weezy.
What's up, man? Yeah, I just want to say I saw fight too.
Stay focused, stay working my jab. Like boxing voice. Listen, if he comes to fight, then I'm going to look for him.
I saw the fight too.
I think you accurate.
Yo, what's up, everybody? What's up, Doomsday? What's up, chat room? What's up, Nestor Gibbs? Pardon my tardiness.
Damn, I haven't been here in a while. You got the gold mic.
Yo, it looks gold, but it's silver.
Nah, he got the high standard one. That's the
You gotta raise your standards. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like the Charlos. I was at the fight yesterday. That shit was exciting.
That's what's
Exciting.
up.
Even Gervonta's fight was exciting. The atmosphere was crazy. People were tapping me. Yo, you from the Boxing Voice? I'm like, yo, how they recognize me if we ain't even live no more? But yeah, that shit was great, man.
Damn, so people recognize you?
Yeah, man. I think you missing, bro. You haven't been there for a long time. But yeah, it was awesome. I had a great time, man. Going to the bathroom, there was a long line, and this dude was online, like, who want to bet against Broner? I'm here. I take PayPal. I take everything. You know what I'm saying?
Against Broner.
He was both. He wanted to bet for Broner, and anybody who's betting for Jessie, he's ready to take their bet.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
That shit ended in draw though. It's like
it ended in a draw, but you don't know that it was a bathroom bet.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, be honest. What did you think? I thought it was a draw. I thought it was a 1 point Jessie. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I wouldn't have been mad if they gave it to Jessie. Like I wasn't mad that they gave it a draw. That's how tight it was. But
also, you wouldn't be mad if they gave it to Broner though for 1 point.
I think that Jessie slightly did more.
The first half.
Even the second half, Broner still was picking his shots. He still was with the high guard. He still was getting ripped to the body. Nah, man. Jessie or the draw. That's it.
It was Jessie or the draw, but for me, it was also Broner, because from the 7th round up, there was a lot of Broner action. Before that, and then I'm one person. There's 3 judges. Before that, I was like, damn, Jessie has every round for me. You know what I'm saying? Probably one on the other side, but for Broner, but it could have went in either way with 1 point. It was that close of a fight for me.
So you guys didn't see Broner winning at all?
I saw Broner winning the second half of the fight.
No, I mean the fight period.
Man, crazy. And by second half, you mean all 6?
No, I gave Broner 8-4, 4-8. Broner owned 4 rounds, easy. You know what I'm saying?
Owned 4 or lost 4? What the fuck you mean?
Owned means he won 4
got
rounds.
2 casuals on with me. They be making up their own language, these motherfuckers.
I mean, you gotta understand the language. He owned 4 rounds.
Count him. It's culture.
What you mean he owned 4 rounds?
That means 4 rounds belong to him. He owns it.
Owned it. Damn it.
So he only won 4 rounds out the fight?
From my perspective, in my opinion, live at the fight, when I was just judging out loud, I was like, yo, that's a Jessie round. That's a Broner round. I had it 4-8, Jessie being the winner.
All right, so if Broner only got 4 rounds in your opinion.
In my opinion. And I also said when it was over, I was like, yo, I could see this shit being a 1 point, based off of everybody talking around me. I was like, I could see it going 1 point for Jessie or 1 point for Broner, even a draw. And it became a draw. You know what I'm saying?
And I wasn't mad with that, but I would have been mad. I mean, I don't know. I don't think I would have been mad, but because Broner did come on. But again, I felt Jessie had the better work and was a little more active. I wonder what the punch stat numbers look like. Let me see if they sent me. I would have been mad.
No, the punch stats definitely Vargas had more volume. I don't know about the percentages.
Is this hashtag Matt stats or are you looking at
No. I remember the stats.
Because we dig in now in Boxing Voice, in case you ain't know.
Yeah, no.
You got your laptop, you know what I mean? Dig in.
Seriously though.
And if you ain't digging yet, you know what I'm saying? You see 95 thumbs up. I'm gonna do 96 right now live on the show.
Damn, they got 275 watching. Where them thumbs up at?
Yo, but the fight, that fight card.
Okay, look, Broner versus Vargas stats are Broner landed 42 jabs, but he threw 160. Vargas landed 62 jabs, but threw 323.
Yeah.
Broner landed 152 power punches, and he threw 347 power punches. Vargas landed 141 power punches, but he threw 516.
Yeah, he was a higher
Mexican form. He threw 839 total punches, landing 203. Broner throwing 507 total punches, landing 194, finishing with a 38% connect ratio, having the better connect ratio, hence why some people feel he either won or at least had a good draw. Now, Vargas, based on numbers, shows volume, and that's why I didn't understand, or not that I didn't understand, but that's exactly what I'm saying. His volume in these numbers indicate that he at least deserved the win or the draw, not anything less. He was the man that did more.
The activity.
He controlled the first half.
The activity, yes. I that's why I was giving it to him. I was like, yo, that's a Vargas round. That's a Vargas round. But when Broner reacted and landed, like somebody texted me like, yo, he ain't throwing combos. I'm like, yo, the combos that he did throw look good. When they show highlights for the first half was all Vargas. But when they showed the highlights of Broner, they were like a little much more what do you call that?
Exciting.
Not even exciting, like the moment you would take that picture and put it on a poster. It was that. It was
a highlight moment.
It was like that Muhammad Ali. I mean, you know what I'm saying? This might be reaching, but you know when Muhammad Ali had that picture, I don't know who his opponent was, but he was on the floor, AJ trying to impress it afterwards.
Yeah.
It was like that. Those combos. You see Broner's face.
Wilderism alert.
What?
AJ tried to impress it when you meant impersonate it.
Yeah, that's what I meant. You know what I mean? Impersonate it.
Wilderism alert.
Yeah. So, so who woke casual up? Everybody, what's up, man? Yo, Charlo brothers, though, man. I kind of love that the wave that they have created. Like, I knew that once that knockout was announced, they will be barking at each other like, yeah, Lions only. That shit had the audience crazy. Even that the 6ix9ine came on when Broner came out, that shit had the audience crazy. Yo, there was a dude like 2 seats away from me. I don't know if he was from Ohio or what, but he never got off his seat. He stood up on it, like his feet on the actual seat. Nobody said, yo, sit the fuck down behind him. But he was like, he was calling the fight the whole entire time. I recorded that shit. It was crazy, man. He was actually the guy taking bets in the bathroom. Yeah, great ass fucking night, man, of boxing. I loved it. It was dope. Broner lived up to what he's supposed to be. Jessie Vargas lived up to what he was supposed to be. Charlo's lived up to what they were supposed to be called. Jermall, right? Jermall was who fought yesterday?
Oh, y'all horrible.
Jermall, bro.
Jermall, that's hard. If you're a teacher, pause. If you're a teacher and both these kids in your class.
What the fuck is the pausing if you're a teacher?
Listen, all I gotta say is that if you're a twin,
it's hard to.
It's gonna happen to you all the time.
How is it hard for two people that supposedly love this sport? You guys are
you're right. You're right. But I got the casual fan as a label, so I could get away with it.
It should be easier now because they're in.
You hear this guy? I got the casual fan label, so it's okay.
Nah, but they both have blonde tips. You know what I'm saying? They both have L's at the end of their name. Their both last name is Charlo. They look alike. It's hard to mix them up.
They both fight good. Like,
fight well.
Yo, Pittsburgh Brew with me. He like, why pause after if you're a teacher?
I didn't say teacher. I was like, yo, it was hard.
Yo, look at Drake said, I teach. What the fuck? No, he don't. No, he don't. He said, I teach and I fuck up names in the class every day.
Yeah, but teachers, you know, I remember.
Yeah. Look at Hashman Boxing. Jermall has a smaller head. How do you even do that?
It's true.
How do you sit here and measure my man's head?
That's a mega pause.
Look at him. He is right. Yo, Mash Boxing, you're right. Yo, Jermall has like a more matured head too. It's like he's more
adult.
But yes, it's funny that there are brothers, but I guarantee you he looks up to the other one, meaning Jermall is the older brother.
Now, was that the one with the pink jacket or the one that was fighting?
The one that's in the ring is who I consider to be the older one.
Yeah. Now, is that the brother that fought Erickson Lubin?
The brother who was outside is the one that beat Erickson Lubin.
Right. And because of that knockout or those knockout styles is why I lose them. You know what I'm saying?
They both knocking guys out.
Knocking people out.
Yeah, they both doing it. They doing it.
Yo, I'm not looking at head sizes. I'm not talking about. I ain't talking about maturity. I'm looking at them as fighters. I'm looking at their swag. I see the blonde shit. I'm like, yo, which is which? You know what I mean? But that was a good.
But that's what I'm saying. It's so weird for me that it's so hard for so many. It's not just you guys. It's just in general. I think that they are completely different while being identical twins. They have completely different body structures. One has a ginormous chest tattoo. I mean, they look totally different. Totally different.
I gotta look for
Oh shit! See, you just pointed out the tattoo difference.
Yeah, no. Jermall is the one who has a big ass chest tattoo.
Okay.
Matt talking about I should get this gunshot.
Where is Matt?
Matt had no sitter, man. Patreon ain't paying right.
The baby got to sit next to him, man. Come on, Matt.
Well, he is on the line. Matt, you gonna say something? Or are you waiting for an intro?
Dollar D Beyonce production.
If you guys like dude, I know
Against a very tough guy in Michael Johnson. How do you feel about it?
Fuck that!
BoxingVoice.com.
You know me, Larry. From a wicked entrance, from a flip over the rock into a knock out. When the main thing is, I just help the guy. I wish.
BoxingVoice.com.
Yo, hipsters here, haters beware. Nah, you can't hate on Enrique for this. Like, it's in his name, casual. Like, of course, it's hard to get twins separated if you're a casual fan of the sport.
Oh yeah.
Get the gunshots out for Dooming.
You hear this guy?
Come on,
Maddie. I've been
supposed to be a fighter, just like on Fighter Eyes. He's supposed to be able to tell his opponent apart.
Matt. I've been a little off keel. Don't judge me.
Yo, you're rusty, Doomy. You're rusty.
I'm a little rusty.
Got the podcast rust.
Okay, it's okay.
I'm back in here.
Matt, Lawrence says that he says me, but I'm pretty sure it's you too. He says, we're hardcore, so we distinguish the small things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think the thing on the Jermall and Jermell separation, one's a middleweight. So we're thinking about that now. One's in a different weight class. So as long as you keep the weight classes separate, and again, maybe that's too hardcore for even a Doomy, that's how I separate them now. When they're in the same weight class, I completely understand everyone mixing them up because there are identical twins with almost identical styles. So that's not surprising. But they're in different weight classes now with different storylines, different career paths. So that's how I sort of
Monster Piece with the cutthroat on the low. She talking about Ness spending way too much time looking at the Charlos. I don't even see all that.
I never saw the tattoo, but Matt, the Charlos
I just know my job. That's why they never dissed me for not knowing who the fuck they was. They dissed everybody for fucking it up. I've never,
and that's why you are Nestor Gibbs, right? But what I'm trying to say is, Matt, if this was rap, they are hot artists right now, both of them.
Well, they the Migos of boxing.
Absolutely.
They the Migos of boxing. They the only ones that dress like the Migos.
The whole arena was the Migos. The shit was on fire last night. Shit was like a nightclub, dog. I'm telling you, I was so happy.
If you think that was dope, you got to go to like Cincy or Washington. I'm telling you, it gets bananas over there.
It was like a nightclub.
Broner said he'll give him the rematch if they could do it in his hometown. So if Vargas agrees to that, I'm in there. I said that last night on Immediate React.
Yeah, I will go there too. But but then Broner still has to perform. It ain't about like your town.
But it is about the town. Like for me, the environment, that atmosphere on a fight night is cray.
But that's the encouragement that the fans and
because they there to support their man.
So he still got to perform. So you would hope that would like back up or sort up the opponent or like what?
I don't know, man. I don't know. We see. I give Broner more of a chance now that he at least performed as well as he did.
He did perform well at the second half.
But now, hold on, before anyone jumps in. Even though Broner, let's say, did better than the Mikey fight, did better than, let's say, the Porter fight, he also fought a guy that's not as good as those guys. So, of course, he's going to look better. And I would still argue that just because he looked better, he did not look like he won. I didn't see a Broner that won last night.
You saw Jessie that won?
Active against a guy that's won his level.
I could honestly say I saw it tied last night. I mean,
did you see a Jessie that won, Matt?
I thought Jessie won slightly.
Slightly, right. And then the hometown conversation, I would say that Brooklyn is more Adrien Broner's hometown than it is Jessie Vargas.
So what you saying? If Jessie Vargas would have fought in Las Vegas, he would have won?
No. What I'm saying is that we're saying Jessie Vargas does agree to Ohio. Why wouldn't he? If Brooklyn, has Jessie fought in Brooklyn? Broner has.
Yeah. But you can't. But it's still neutral ground.
Bro, there was people from Ohio there. There were people from Baltimore. When I was on lines, people were from Baltimore.
Yeah. Because Tank was there.
I know. And Tank was traveling with Broner. So
Broner and Tank they've trained in headbangers before, which is in the DMV DC area. That's why they used to put Broner in the DMV DC area.
That makes sense. But
it's still technically neutral ground, bro. The Barclays Center is New York. As a fighter, you can't argue with a promoter putting a big fight in New York because it's the Mecca of boxing. That's truly the Mecca of boxing. Like people calling everything else the Mecca.
You can't argue it, but it's still more of a Broner territory than it is Jessie Vargas. Absolutely, like that's the
yes, but by default, by default.
By being so close.
No, by default, because Broner is Broner is almost 16 hours away. Okay, you know Cincinnati is almost 16 hours away.
But Broner is also like in social media.
Jessie Vargas is probably only maybe 4 more hours away. Maybe 4 more.
In Las Vegas.
I thought he was
Los Angeles,
right?
Wait a minute. Los Angeles is nowhere near Ohio.
You think LA is 4 hours away from Cincinnati?
8 hours. 24. Wait a minute. It's 8 hours away.
It's not, Ness. That's at least 24-hour drive.
That's what I'm saying, dog. Look, I said 16.
Clarify this, Ness.
Listen. 16. I made a mistake by saying 4. It would have been 20. 16 would have been 20.
You can't say the Barclays is a home
Matthew
for an LA fighter. That's literally the stupidest thing ever.
To say that the Barclays is neutral ground for an LA fighter?
No, for an Ohio fighter and an LA fighter.
No, that Ohio fighter and the LA fighter for the Barclays Center is neutral ground. I don't think that.
Bruh, listen, the problem is no, bro. The problem is that you are being. I don't even know. This is where my lack of vocabulary ruins things for people, right? Because
spit it out.
You're stereotyping. Broner is from the fucking Midwest somewhere. To say because he's black.
But he's made a
No,
it's not that.
So what is it?
Career at the Barclays.
What is it? No, bro. He's
at the Barclays.
Hold on. Both of y'all, hold on. Let me interject.
More time at the Barclays.
How many fights he had in the Barclays?
I can open box.
Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, off the top, Hove style. He fought Paulie Malignaggi. He fought Mikey Garcia. He fought
Mikey in the Barclay.
Did he fight Mikey in the Barclay? Yes, I was there.
Barclays.
He fought Mikey in the Barclay. He fought Paulie. He might have fought Paulie in the Garden,
but it's not Porter at the Barclay.
He fought Porter at the Barclay. He fought Paulie at the Barclay.
All right, I lose.
But my thing is this: Ohio, I don't believe is Midwest unless my geography is off. I think that's like right next to Pennsylvania. You know what I'm saying?
It is. It's like next to Pittsburgh, but it's really far, bro. It's a 16-hour drive.
Yeah, but it's more. It's not going west.
Like in the middle of the map. Check it out.
I would say Texas is the middle, and then I would say, okay, if Ohio's next to Texas, then yeah, or New Orleans, but not, or Chicago, you know what I'm saying, but not Ohio. Ohio is closer to the Barclays Center. You know, you could drive to Ohio to the from Ohio to the Barclay, and
you're gonna be driving for 16 hours.
16 hours, but if you want to drive to Los Angeles, you're gonna be driving
for 24 hours. 8 hours more is what the fuck I said. I made a mistake by saying 4. I quickly said 8. I
don't think it's 8.
Yo, my man right here drove to Los Angeles. How far is it for you?
You said 8 hours on. No, you said 8 hours from LA to Cincinnati, right?
Yeah. That was bad.
Yeah, because I'm just adding hours, man.
Matt's digging in.
Like it's at least double that, if not more. Like that's 2,000 miles away.
Ooh. That's
just
a Matt facts.
Yeah, just about.
Matt
facts right there.
Matt Lyon. If we need to see a diagram, Matt, we don't believe you.
Hashtag that.
We don't believe you. You don't even know Broner's address. You don't even know Broner's address in Cincinnati.
Here go Ness trying to challenge you. He's throwing a new card out there.
Yo.
You don't know the city, Matt.
Hey, Doomsday. He don't know Broner's address in Cincinnati, so he's just putting any address. It's not
like 4 more hours out, Matt.
He put the capital.
Broner's on the outskirts of Ohio. You got to factor in all those extra miles.
So let's talk Gervonta Davis, though. I
mean, you want to talk a lot of old shit, bro. You came on late.
I know, man. I'm just trying to
the issues right here. Like,
make a new album.
Got callers waiting.
Let them talk. Gervonta, were they excited? Do they think that performance is a Lomachenko? And I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna say like this. Yesterday, just seeing all the performance, the knockouts, and then following up and seeing the challenge that Broner had in front of him, it was like WWF to me on Saturday when you knew who was going to win and you were like, yo, it's going to be a knockout. It's going to be a knockout. Oh, this guy, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? That's what the PBC fight card was to me yesterday. And it turned out to that at the end. So saying that now, seeing the Gervonta knockout, the dude who I never met before on television, meaning like never followed. And
Jesus.
Jesus Cueller. And then
what the fuck is Carosa?
Carosa.
No, he's supposed to be Hispanic, ladies and gentlemen. This is horrible.
So Hispanic.
It was a mix between Corral and Rosa.
Yo, but I'm so Hispanic that Gervonta name yesterday was Gervonta. All right. So let's so anyway,
who you had to translate for somebody?
I thought he was from Iceland or something.
Somebody was like, yo, what's that guy's name? I was like, Gervonta.
How many drinks you had before you said that?
Yo, that was me walking in, waiting online for my first drink. I was like, yo, this guy was like, yo, what's the guy's name that's fighting his Argentinian guy? I was like, that's Gervonta.
Yo, Cueller, while you pronounce his name wrong, he made good ass money. He made $350, bro. He made as much as 10 for that fight.
Damn, I thought that was low, but you know.
Dog.
And Cash Weez.
Even if you think it's low, him and Tank made the same amount.
That's good money. I thought Tank got paid low because he's kind of a celebrity.
Star.
Yeah,
but he was an opening fight. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Yo,
But
with the pay grade, Jessie only got 5.
is that bad or good?
I mean, that's Brandon got 5 to face Danny.
I never paid attention to numbers like that. Like,
Yeah. Well, pay attention to these numbers. 1-425-569-241. Press 1 time. You can also hit us up on Skype. Shout out to Anthony Edwards. It says Nesfax having a rough day today. I am. I'm getting all type of shit wrong.
I was about to pause that when you say, yo, pay attention to these numbers.
Why would you pause that?
Because it was in slow-mo. Yo, pay attention to these. Pay attention to these nuts, motherfucker. Nah, pause.
What's going on here with this guy? Jay in Orlando. Oh shit, Jay. Hold on, brother. Hold on. One momento on the segundoations.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
Jay in Orlando.
What's going on, family? It's been a minute, man. Good to hear you guys. Glad to see Doomsday's back and all is well.
J.O.
Shout out to Enrique. Hey, Ness, I 100% agree with you on Cincinnati. I've never been to actual Cincinnati, but as far as their fight fans, I don't know if you guys remember when they used to do the bounce shows here in Orlando. So, like, every Friday, we would get basically like a headliner. And the most action-packed fight that I went to was when they had Rasheed Warren there. And it literally, like, Cincinnati took over. Like, you felt like you was in Cincinnati. Like, they fight fans were ridiculous. Like, it literally felt like I was in Cincinnati. Like, something like a brawl was getting ready to break out any second if you say anything bad about Cincinnati, man. So, last night, I felt as though that Adrien Broner didn't do enough. Like, he did good, but he didn't do enough. Like, he had a chance to steal the show. He had a chance to close out the show, and he didn't close it out. Like, he did well. Like, Kev Cunningham did a great job as far as training him. But one thing I would have liked was in that 12th round when he was talking to him, I would have liked if he would have told him just to go all out, go for all gas, like, because he could have really, like, in the end of that ninth round, if it was a few more seconds, I think he would have been able to stop him. But like, it was times where, like, the way Broner fights is, you know, he picks his shots, he sits, he waits, and there were times where if he just stepped on the gas a little bit more, he wouldn't have been able to do something. In like the first 6 rounds, like, he only won like 2 rounds, if that. You know, if you really, and that's really like being biased. You know, he was literally just like giving the fight away to Jessie, and it was like the same old thing, and then it finally clicked. Tank did a wonderful job. I think Tank and Tevin Farmer, I think that's gonna be a good fight. I think the Lomachenko fight is way too soon for him right now. So I was like, a smart business person, like, it's way too soon. Like, there's no need for it. Obviously, Lomachenko's in a different weight class now, so you don't even have to do it. But definitely do the Tevin Farmer fight. Jermall Charlo, excellent fighter, excellent dude. I look forward to seeing what's coming up with him. Hopefully that he can get one of these Billy Joe Saunders, Daniel Jacobs fights. And Triple G. I don't think he's gonna be able to get the Triple G. I see Triple G facing Lainez, facing Canelo, and then retiring. I don't see him facing, you know, your Billy Joes of the world and these other guys, because it's starting to get real dangerous for him. Let me know you guys' thoughts on what I said.
Nah, I think he'll take.
Man, that's pretty much my call.
I think if he can't get the Canelo fight, he'll take that Billy Joe fight. And that one will determine an extension beyond the Billy Joe. See, the Canelo fight, you know, the experts had him losing that. So he probably would have retired after that or parlayed that one into a rematch, right? Because, you know, it don't matter if you look too bad. It's, you know, it could have been a trilogy or something. Hopefully, he, you know, but I think, you know, it's like you say, it'll be like maybe one more. I think they were
definitely, like you were saying earlier, I think they were definitely stuck on the trilogy thing. I think, like, you know, Canelo kind of messed up that money. They were kind of stuck on the trilogy thing. And I think that after that, he was going to try to go the Billy Joe route and then, you know, ride it off into the sunset, you know, with the money being made and collecting all the belts. But it's one of those things where, unfortunately, he got messed up. You know, nothing that he did, it was on someone else's part. But it should be good, man. We got a good thing. It's a lot of different guys in that weight class now. Before, that weight class was too strong. Now it's very strong. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, let's see if they mix it up, man. They've put a little divide. There's 2 different islands of 160 pounders. Let's go out to our very own co-producer, who usually gets our guests. So she's going to be getting us some guests for the Cinco de Mayo. Hopefully everything goes good. And
wait, what's the Cinco de Mayo?
What's happening Cinco de Mayo, bro?
Me in LA.
Oh yeah, I said that earlier today.
Oh, okay. I mean, people that
I didn't even know that was like a setup. My bad. That was an assist. I think,
like, yo, what's going on, man?
You know what? You did such a good job acting. I almost thought you really didn't know what was happening.
Exactly, but I was just being like a listener that just joined in, like, yo, what's Cinco de Mayo?
Cinco de Mayo is when we're going to be performing our show live for the second time from StubHub, Carson, California, for the Triple G, Gennady Golovkin, IBO, IBF, WBA, WBC titles on the line versus Lainez, Maroshian.
And Doomsday
not by the ocean, not by the ocean.
I said Mighty Ocean.
Let me go out to Monster.
I'm a motherfucking monster.
Yeah, can we get Donna DiBiase to update that to the new Chun-Li song? Because that track from Nicki Minaj is fire. What's going on, gentlemen?
We never heard it. We Cardi B around here.
Yeah, you gotta be like.
I love that. Oh my God, I love that. I love that. Yes, Cardi B all the way.
My little 15 minutes lasting long as hell.
Yeah.
Hey.
We're making money moves.
I mean, it was a great night.
That wasn't money moves.
Making money moves.
That wasn't money moves.
But it was a reference. Reference.
Yeah,
reference.
Finger spin.
What he says it's on her for her thighs.
Look at that. OTKP said, look.
See that.
Look, Monster, OTKP said, nah, you need a new Cardi B intro.
Mm.
And somebody else said Cardi B.
Hey, I'm down for that too.
Look, somebody else said, yep, Cardi B.
DiBiase, if you're DiBiase, if you're out there, please hit me up. We need to talk about Cardi B.
Y'all realizing y'all shitting on my intro that I created for you, right? That made a name.
No, look at Mighty Sway. He said Cardi B more popping. Hey,
Eric Krill's on the building.
So, what's up?
You guys have it? Is there a chat? Is there a chat going on? Because I don't see it on YouTube.
Yeah, definitely a chat going on always. But
you ain't following the new channel, Monster?
Oh, did you guys send it to me?
Did we send? No, we say it on every single
I just
show.
want everyone. I just want everybody to know that that's the love I get.
We say it on every single show.
I didn't even know about the damn channel.
Oh,
I didn't know. I swear to God, I know it wasn't your guys' fault. I just didn't know. I've been like,
you've been lost,
focusing on other things.
Masterpiece, how impressed were you last night, though?
Yeah, let's go to the box.
It was a lot of great fights. There was a lot of great fights last night. I felt like all three cards were really good. They were fun. They were impressive. People were just getting them out quick until we got to the main event, and it went all 12 rounds. But other than that, it was a great night. I was excited. I have no complaints. I don't even have complaints about about it being a draw, to be honest with you. I think it's fine being a draw. That's just what Broner is right now, to be honest with you guys. That's just where he is. That's his mentality right now, to just do enough to get him by, but not enough to prove that he wants to be here and he wants to be the best again. I just don't think he's in that mentality right now. And it's sad because he had so many opportunities to counter Vargas well in that fight. He had many chances, and he proved in some of the rounds. I forgot what round it was, but in the later rounds, he did prove that when he does counter and he does go in, he lets his hands go. He can do really well, but he just, for some reason, like you said, Ness, he was hesitant. He was just overthinking it, and it's just like, I feel like that's what Broner is right now. I feel like he's overthinking everything in his life, and that's just bleeding into his fighting style and who he is as a fighter now. So I wish him the best. I don't mind seeing a rematch, honestly, to be honest with you. I really don't, because who else is out there for Broner, really? If he moves up to the 147 division thinking like that and acting like that, he's not going to survive that division at all.
This is the perfect time for Broner to fight Danny right now, because he almost can't. He almost can't fight Danny if he loses, so he needs to fight him right now. Right now, they should be their next fight. Neither one of them want to fight Earl. They could fight. Right. Danny could fight Broner, and Earl could fight Porter.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? That sounds good too. I'm not arguing that at all. I feel you on that one. Definitely. But yeah, I don't mind that. The Charlo, oh God, you know what? I'm gonna put up that video I have of me getting them confused. I think it's about time I share that footage with people. I just can't tell them apart, man. I think, and you're right, Ness. I'm being an asshole. There is ways to tell them apart, but you have to really think about that before approaching them. Because if you go just like cold turkey and just go up to them, you can get them confused. That will happen. So if you can find something that there is to tell them apart, and there definitely is, just do that before approaching them. Because if you don't find that one thing that you know helps you tell them apart, you just won't be able to. You gotta, But I would like for them to do the common courtesy of fucking at least doing the hairstyles different.
Nah, that's cool. They should look. They should look as close as possible. They should look as close as possible that they want to look to each other. But I wanted to address something to you. You were like, yo, I wish Adrien Broner let his hands go. And I thought about the Hugo Centeno, right? That was his name. right? Centeno, he fought the Charlo. Right. So he fought Jermall Charlo. And the moment Hugo Centeno let his hands go, he got knocked out. So these fighters are a little more reserved. Like I'm watching that. I'm like, damn, when he lets his hand, he got busy.
But did you see that round when he actually did that, and what happened to Vargas during those?
That was a different round, though. You can't.
He had the chance to let his hands go. You need to rewatch that fight again and watch those rounds. He is effective when he does that, which is why Cunningham was telling him that. So if his corner's telling him that, and everybody else is seeing that, then I guess the problem here is that he didn't do it, right?
I mean, I would say this: the corner says one thing because they're looking, right? I'm sure Centeno's corner told him something. Yo, let go, don't worry. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, but
Cunningham's gonna tell Broner to do something off of a moment. But there's another corner saying the same thing or something else to rebuttal what he's saying. So there's cautious, man, and that's why Broner wound up having the tie.
But Broner is Centeno.
He was cautious. You have to be cautious. Yo, Hugo Centeno wasn't cautious. He let go and he lost. Broner had to be cautious.
Yeah, but Centeno, you need to see Centeno's other fights as well. Like that boy doesn't know how to keep his hands up anyway. So even if he wasn't letting his hand go, he was gonna get fucking knocked out regardless. So you should watch his other fights.
So that's kind of bad.
He lost to the guy for that same reason. He lost to the guy that's about to fight Daniel Jacobs, right, man?
Well, not for that same reason because he wasn't knocked out.
Well,
he got KO'd by that guy, wasn't it?
Nah, I think that was.
He got KO'd by the Polish guy.
What's his name?
Yeah, no, he got KO'd by the Polish guy.
What's his name?
And who was it?
Sulecki.
Yeah, isn't that the guy that's fighting Daniel Jacobs?
Yeah, but I don't think it was a legit KO. If I remember correctly, there was like a cut or something, right?
Oh, it was a stoppage.
Yeah.
Nah, because I saw that fight before watching this fight. He KO'd him.
But if you look at the Hugo Centeno fight, he got busy, and so did Jermall, and he wound up getting knocked out. So Vargas was getting busy, and when they say that a fighter has to pace himself, that's what Broner was doing. He was pacing himself. He took his own instructions.
Yeah, but I don't know. I doubt. Do you guys think that Vargas was hurting Broner?
What?
I wasn't sure because he was hitting Broner with some shit to the body, bro. That didn't affect.
Yeah,
like that,
the body's different.
Nah, man, the body's worse. Like that shit should have hurt Broner.
That's what I'm saying. The body's different. Any hit to the body is actually really, really effective.
Yeah,
so if you're good at attacking the body, you got it. But I don't think in terms of like blows to the head, any of those punches that Vargas was connecting. Do you guys actually think that Broner was hurt? I don't think he was, to be quite honest with you.
When every time Broner nodded his head, I counted that as a punch.
Because when Broner landed, he did more. I don't know. Maybe it's just the face. Maybe Vargas get cut more easily.
Broner looks swollen. Let's not lie to us.
I agree with Monster. The punches Adrien Broner was catching Vargas with were affecting more than the punches Jessie was hitting Adrien Broner, and that was relevant in the face. We said that in the beginning earlier. Yeah, it's true, man. The punch, even though Vargas was attacking the body, you could sit here and say, oh, you don't see the way the body punches affect somebody. Let me tell you how you do see them when you start seeing an opponent slow down. And we didn't see that happen with Adrien Broner.
But listen, Monster, let me get to some.
Which is why he should have let it go. But yes, guys, have a good night. And everybody that's listening, just know that we will have a TVP appreciation tailgate type of party, I guess. I don't know if you gave them the details. But,
sure did. But you can continue.
So you guys come through.
That's right, LA.
I'm working on those.
LA, Carson, California.
StubHub.
That's right. All right, guys. You have a good night.
All right. Let's go out to Anthony Edwards. What up?
What up, man? Y'all got the ring rust tonight, man. What's good?
Why you say that?
A little bit, bro.
Yeah, I kind of I kind of agree with you, Nuss, and what Jay was saying. Yeah, Cincinnati get lit especially for like our little local talent, and they travel fairly well. Yeah, it's always something. I meant to send a video for this amateur fight I went to one of my sparring partners and shit. But even there, it was just some high school gym. It got nuts. But yeah, man, that AB's fight, man, it just brought back nightmares from last year when I was in the Barclays and they're watching right before the first time I called in. I'm like, man, please let your hands go. Please throw some punches. Yeah. It's one of those things. I think if he had been throwing punches from round 1, Vargas would have been out of there by round 8. You know, I mean, you can see that because he's just a more explosive puncher. He hits you once, you bruise, no matter who you are. You know, I mean, even Maidana said it's the hardest, strongest guy I ever fought. You know, so it's one of those things, man. I don't think nobody can eat crow from this. I think we can eat pigeons from it. You know, crow is nastier, so we'll roll with pigeons for this. But Charlo, right? Charlo by homicide. Charlo by homicide. Tech by devastation. You know, it was a pretty good night of boxing. That Amir Khan shit, I was shocked at that a little bit. I'm like, damn, he put him away. But dude looked pudgy, man. He didn't look like he was even in shape, so I ain't surprised with that. Now he calling out Spence. I'm like, good luck. Yeah, because he could be out round 1 for that one. So I don't know, man. I'm up here down still in the Caymans and shit, getting ready to go to dinner. Enjoying this shit. Luckily I got to watch the fight. I will fight via FaceTime. So I'm happy with that. But that's all I got. I'll let y'all.
All right, Anthony, thanks for calling in. We're gonna go out to our ringer, Cuban Alex. What's up, brother? Alex. Cuban Alex.
Bro, can you hear me?
We hear you now.
You magically appeared, Alex.
Alex
is going in and out.
Yo,
Alex.
Yeah, what's wrong with your Skype? I can't hear you.
Fix the bunny ears.
Yeah, I doubt it's us, brother. How about you put yourself on mute and we'll try someone else on Skype?
Yeah, your Skype is messed. I don't know what's wrong with the Skype, man. I fucked up. I'll call in later.
I mean, you're clear.
Jay Will, we'll go to you. Oh, actually, Jay Will, one moment. We got a mastermind on. We're going to go to Ron. If you don't know what mastermind or ringers are, they'll give you the ability to cut the line, obviously, and other perks as well. Ron, in particularly, you know, can cut the line and has a bunch of exclusive, I guess, chit-chatting with us. He's kind of one of the APs, helps us in deciding what to talk about. But Ron, what's going on, brother?
What's up? I'm just gonna do like a little power through of all the fights I saw. The Amir Khan fight, it was a good tune-up for him. He fought Phil Greco, so I mean it wasn't anything spectacular, but it shows that he can sell very well in the UK. I think that's the most important thing that got out of that. And the Kell Brook thing was probably going to be the thing that should just happen. I heard Kell Brook kind of whisper saying that we should meet at 150 as a catchweight. I don't like catchweights. I think Kell Brook is trying to look for a way to fight these smaller guys at a bigger weight. So from the Donaire and Carl Frampton fight, I fell asleep on that fight. It was pretty boring. But overall, the main cards on the Showtime, I agree with you, Ness. I think Gervonta did have the best fight based on the fact that, you know, he was able to kind of take him in the later rounds and showcase a little bit more. I think Charlo is just trying to just whoop everyone's ass and just get everyone out.
It was literally only one round, though.
Right. No, I mean, you can tell by the pacing. If you saw the first round, it was like a fill-out round. Gervonta was showcasing from round 1, 2, and 3. It was a little bit more of a highlight reel if you were going to make it about Charlo or Gervonta. Like if I was trying to do something for the night, it was definitely gonna be Gervonta. All the dodging and the slip movement, the control, the body shot. He did the body shot that put him down. That was a really nice body shot. Not saying that Charlo didn't have a great knockout. I mean, he's apple and oranges, so I mean, it's just my opinion on it. But and then just like everyone says, it's the phrase of the night: just let your hands go. Broner could have easily won this fight. He just had to let his hands go. I think he's more scared on his image. I think he'd rather take a loss and go to the decision that way opposed to getting knocked out. Like, I just feel like he has like a fear of getting knocked out. I don't think he really cares as much as losing, but getting knocked out means everything. So that's the vibe I'm getting. So,
yeah, I wouldn't even argue that.
No.
He's real tentative. He doesn't let go.
Strange. And I think that's the reason why. And like he picks it up later because it's getting closer to the end. So, you know, it feels a little more safe. If he does get hurt, he can carry it on. I mean, he does have a good chin, but I just think he's just afraid of getting knocked out. That I feel like that itself would destroy his image and how he sells his fights. So, but yeah, that's about it. So that's my call.
Ron, thanks for calling in, brother. And obviously, thank you for the continued support. Let's go out to Ohio Runs Boxing, or should I say Ohio Full of Shame is what I seen on your Facebook, right?
Yes, sir. What's up, man?
What's up, brother?
Man, oh my goodness, man. Broner. I was going for him, man. I was rooting for him. You know my Ohio bias, man. I got to root for my Ohio fighters, but he had so much motivation going into this fight, man. And I'm like, he's going to let his hands go. You got Jermall Charlo talking about him. And, you know, he had so much going on in this fight. The first performance by Tank was wonderful. Then you got Jermall, and now you got the pressure on you. You already seen that they done did their job. Then you come out there and do yours. Show everybody what you about. Let's see if you got it. Man, Broner, I scored it 6-6. I could have gave it to Vargas with one of the rounds, but it was a draw. I was scoring it as the fight was going on, and I seen Broner start to press the fight towards the end. But he was supposed to come out, Ness, and let them know that you there. I was just like, what in the... I was disappointed the first 4 rounds. I had Vargas up at the first 6 rounds. Vargas was up 5-1. Easy. 5-1. I had him up 5-1. And I was just a draw in that. You know, y'all talking about coming to Cincinnati. Cincinnati is a nice place. I drive there. I live in Columbus, so I drive there 2 hours to go see the fight. But I don't know. I don't know if I want Vargas coming to Cincinnati and Broner got a draw. You didn't do enough.
That's crazy because
I want to make it quick.
Hold on, I don't mean to.
Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah. So real quick, right? I'm scrolling through my Instagram and then I run into. I'm not going to name drop, but I'm gonna say the real USS. I see like this post he put up, and I liked it. He was like, "That wasn't a draw." ... ellipse. Vargas won. So you know, there's people that feel exactly like you.
It was one swing round where I could have gave Vargas. I didn't see Broner winning it. I like Broner. I love my Ohio fighters. You know what I mean? So I was looking to try to give Broner rounds, and I just couldn't. And I was like, even the rounds, some of the rounds he won was close, like razor thin. So it was just like, okay, he landed the cleaner punches, but back to what I was saying about the, you know, Cincinnati and him getting a draw. I don't know if I want to see him in Cincinnati. It would, you know, neutral ground. Vargas deserved it. I mean, shoot, he fought. It was a draw. You want to come to Cincinnati after you didn't got a draw? I mean, is they going to trust the judges? You know, I don't know if that's going to happen. I'd love to see it. But, you know, at the same time, I was disappointed in that. But another thing, I want to give a shout out to Mike Stanford, you know, the trainer for Broner, the original one. I was telling people, it was everybody that called the show, Ness, for months and months. He needs a new trainer. He needs a new trainer. No, he don't. He needs to listen and follow instructions. Man, Mike used to tell him to let his hands go. This ain't the first time. Kevin Cunningham, I respect him, man. He's a great trainer. And everybody was talking about Broner coming looking in great. He's looking great. I'm not hating, but it's a catch weight. Make 140. Make 147. You know, fight 140.
Yo, he couldn't even make 144. He didn't make that. Ohio runs by you hitting after the bell, though. But remember, he didn't even make that weight. He had to take off his underwear because he needed to make 2 ounces, bro. Broner still needs another camp, just like Tank. They need consistent camps down there with Cunningham. It's easier when you're always in shape. You stay ready, so you don't got to get ready. We're gonna go out to Chicago. We got our own Jay Will in Ohio. Excuse me.
If you know like I know, you should lie low. Killer, I used to get it in Ohio.
Ohio coming out for Broner.
Yeah, shout out to Ohio. Deep at the Barclay.
Jay Will, you working today? Uh-oh. If you're just listening, it's all good. You got your intro played. Let's move it on to Keem in Florida. Jay,
What's
you
up?
there?
What's up?
Jay, you there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I didn't know you was going to talk.
Jay, you there?
Yo.
We hear you.
I think he going in and out right now.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's the same thing with that's funny because how are they listening to the show but they're not able to talk? I don't get that.
Was that a soundbite from Cash?
No. That's Skype disconnecting. He hung up. Let's go to Keem in Florida. Talk to me. Keem, what's up?
Keem the Great.
Keem?
Looks like the eye in the sky is having trouble.
Mike Jerry, talk to us.
Yo.
What's up, brother?
Oh, you can hear me?
Loud and clear.
Oh. Man, I just got to say, man, arguably, Broner fought the hardest. He had the best opponent on the card that night. He fought the hardest opponent on the card that night. I give big ups to Tank Davis, man. He went out there and personally and technically, he looked the best out of all of them on what he did and how he dissected his opponent. Charlo, he just looked like an animal. Him and his brother got something going on special, man. It just seems like they're competing against one another. You know, one go gets a knockout in great fashion. The next one does the same thing. Centeno looked like Erickson Lubin last night. He tried to get up, but he couldn't get up. Just like Lubin did. And it's true, man. You see him, like he was raising his head and he was trying to get up, but he couldn't. Like it was a devastating knockout, you know?
Yeah, he couldn't hit that sit up, man.
Man, like I'm sorry?
No, he couldn't sit up.
Yeah. That was crazy. And Broner, like I mean, I think people need to give him more credit, man. He really brought a lot of attention to this card, regardless of all with what was going on outside the ring. He brought a lot of attention to this card. The Charlo spat helped. There was a whole bunch of nonsense going on, and he fought the hardest opponent. I thought he won. I thought he edged it out, but it was so close. You know, I'm not upset. It was a draw. You know, like Ness says, I think he needs to fight Danny Garcia at the end of the year. I think it's going to be a huge turnout in the Barclays, and that's all I got to say.
All right, Mike. Well, thanks for calling in. I mean, look, when else could you make that Danny fight? They need to jump on that right now, Al. You jump on that, put it in the Barclay. You could put a decent undercard, and this will do well, you know?
For what date, though?
Anytime they want, bro. Anytime in the summer.
Oh, with Adrien Broner?
Of course. Anytime.
I mean, he had a 12-round fight, and he took a lot of body shots. I mean,
anytime this year, anytime he fought once this year, anytime this year in the end of the
fall looks more like a day.
you know. Let's go to East Coast Jay out in South Jersey. What's going on, East Coast Jay?
Hey, what's up, man? Yo, you guys are doing a great job, man. Khan, of course, he did his thing. Charlo, we already know he was going to do his thing. Tank, he looked beautiful. I love this kid from the beginning since I first saw him. I thought he was going downhill, but he got it back, and he really wants to win, and he really wants his career to go somewhere. So I like that. Tank, if you're listening, keep up the good work. Keep doing it. But Broner, it's like a broken record. He don't let his hands go. He changed trainers. He worked real hard in the last fight. He trained hard. This time, he was sweating on the treadmill. He worked real hard. Still the same thing. I think Broner is what he is, and that's it.
And what is he exactly?
He's just like a B+ B fighter. That's it. I think he was better than Jessie. I think he would beat Jessie if he let his hands go. He showed he's a better fighter than Jessie all around. But he just, for some reason, he just doesn't complete the job. Like, he chokes up. He has the talent. He has the skill. You can see he's well-rounded. He could beat Jessie if he just let his hands go. He could have easily won. I thought Jessie was going to win, but I watched Broner compared to Jessie, and you could tell Broner is just the better fighter, but he just chokes up.
I see, and like I said, Adrien Broner, he's coming off of these losses, and he went through this training camp fully. He felt good. I think this is just the beginning of a comeback of what we used to see in the early days of Broner in the lighter weight divisions. I think we just got to see him in this next fight. I think this next fight will definitely sort of nail in the coffin, for my opinion, at least.
Yeah, that's why, like I said, he could do the Vargas rematch, but the Vargas rematch isn't going to be a bit as big as the Danny Garcia fight. I think you take that now because for him, really at 47, there's probably more killers, right? Like, Danny is probably the best fight for him at 47. Because he's in between. And again, he struggled to make 144 for this fight. He had to take off his underwear, which weighed 2 ounces. So he's got to look upward. Danny's the number 4 in the division, right? Horn is busy with Crawford and is a big guy. You seen what happened with Pacquiao. Earl is a big guy and busy with Ocampos. Manny is Manny is Manny, and he's busy with Lucas Matisse. Danny is available. Porter is available. Vargas just lost to him, drew with him. Peterson's his boy. Yep. And then, you got Omar Figueroa, who has the DUI. Granados, who he already fought. Jermall James, who just got a win. But, again, Jermall James is like less... is like fighting a step under Jessie.
True.
Let me see if I could get Alex here. Alex, you there? Alex, you there?
There he is not.
I don't know. Maybe we'll have to restart the Skype for next show, brother. But yeah, we were saying there's really no names there. Like, obviously, you got some names, but not on that level, not super fight, not big fight, not main event. Like, that's it. Unless it's like Omar Figueroa, and like, he's busy. But then you got Dani Ulgas, Antonio DeMarco. Like, it's just, it gets very thin, very thin. So, yeah, man. I mean, he should do a Danny fight and hope that one is tight, because then he could do a rematch. Because again, after Danny, he really doesn't have anywhere to go.
I think a Danny fight, that's gonna garner a lot of attention.
Yeah, maybe a Danny fight and then come back to the Vargas rematch if you can beat Danny. Because if he beats Danny, everyone else is very heavy on that division. Everybody else is very heavy. But yeah, man, I am your host, Nestor. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at NestGTO. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/Nestor Gibbs, NESTORGIBBS. Same as our Skype account. This is the backup channel. If you find this on youtube.com/ThaBoxingVoice, come to the Nestor Gibbs channel in order to subscribe to get your notification whenever we go live. We are doing our live streams here due to a copyright strike, which has totally ruined us.
Oh, man. What do I say? Back, boys. But I'm glad to be back on. Hold on, let me take this off. Well, I'm glad to be back on. And what can I say, guys? We had a good weekend of fights. Charlo brother, cementing his his lines only attitude with that knockout. Gervonta, with his KO, great body work, and Adrien Broner, the comeback. Is it or is it not? We'll just judge that on the next fight. And yeah, you can catch me on Facebook, Alexander Lainez, and on Instagram is Alex_Doomsday_Lainez, LAINEZ. And don't forget to subscribe to Patreon, where you can find all exclusive content that we have, boxing, overall music. I mean, you get a little bit of everything on there.
Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. I do want to mention we do have an on-demand show courtesy of one of our listeners. Details to come. Synopsis is: who is the next American star? Broner, Crawford, Deontay,
maybe Gervonta.
Who is the next American star? That would be our next on-demand. Remember, if you want to put together your on-demand show, head on over to ThaBoxingVoice.com/on-demand and have a show custom made to your liking. Peace out.